Good afternoon, everyone. This is our lecture number 14 on engineering economics. In the previous lecture, we studied about definition of demand. Now, in this lecture, we are going to study about different types of factors affecting demand. Okay. So previously, we seen one particular factor that is called as income. Okay. Now we have seen the relationship between the income that we already seen. Now we'll see the next relationship, that is price of goods, taste, special influence and populations. Okay. So this is the second relationship of between the price and demand. Okay. Now we'll understand the relationship between the price of particular goods and the demand. So more the price of good, more will be the consumption. Okay. Now we can take a very interesting example here. Suppose we take a fruit that is apple. So the price of apple, as we know that the price of apple is considerably more than the other foods. The price of apple is considerably more than other foods. Like we can have the banana, we can have another fruit. So among many fruits, the price of apple is more. Okay. The reason is that when we serve or when we have one apple per day, we will get lots of benefit, that is health benefits. So there is one famous proverb in English, an apple a day keeps doctor away. Means a person need to have at least one apple per day so that his health will be in good condition. So that the price of apple is continuously more. As we know that the apple is grown in particular areas like in Himalaya regions, like J&K, we have Jammu and Kashmir, okay, then Himachal Pradesh, and some part of Uttarakhand, okay. In that areas only the particular apple is grown up. It requires some specific climatic condition, so that apple cannot be grown everywhere. When we talk about the banana we can grow in many parts of the country, like in Maharashtra, in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, means every part of a country we can grow. So ultimately the price of apple is more than other foods. Again, the apple having more benefits, health benefits, as compared to the other foods. So the price of apple is continuously more. The price of apple is, we can say, the comparatively more or continuously more than the other product. So the price of apple is more, so that the demand is also more. Okay. Now we are talking about the relationship between the price and demand. Okay. If here we have taken the example of apple, so the price of apple is more, so its demand is also more. Okay. Now we'll have the third factors which affect the demand, that is called as taste. Okay. We'll see the relationship between the taste and demand. Now the taste of a particular goods influences demand. The very first important point is the taste of particular goods influences the demand. We can take the example, suppose in a restaurant a particular food dish is much tasty, or we can say very tasty. So the demand of that particular food increases. Demand of the particular food increases. Now we'll see, talking about the tasting. So when we go to the restaurant and we want a particular kind of food dish, and that food dish is much delicious, much spicy, and having best taste among other available dishes in a particular hotel. So people continuously demanding, or maximum people demand that dish. So the demand is increasing of the particular dish. So what happens? The cook who prepare the particular dish, it requires some time because the demand of the particular dish is more. So we need to wait for more time. So what it says, say, and the particular dish is delicious. So it has more demand. So ultimately its price will be more. Its price will be more because to prepare particular dish, that cook uses some special spices, and that spices are costly, so that the price of the particular dish increases. The price of particular dish is increases. So this is a very important relationship between the taste and demand. This is a very important relationship between the taste and demand. Okay. Now the next relationship is between special influence and demand. Okay. Now we'll see the next factor which affect the demand is special influence. Okay. Now special influence we can term following are the special influence, that is availability. As we know that due to COVID-19 situations, so everywhere we find the scarcity of resources. Everywhere we find scarcity of resources. Scarcity means what? Some lack of goods, or we are not able to find the goods into market easily. Okay, so the availability reduces. So the availability of particular foods or goods reduces. Suppose we require a particular kind of, say, take example, particular kind of drug, that is we can say medicine rather than saying drug. I use a word medicine. Okay, now that particular medicine we can make use for asthma patient. We can use for asthma patient. Now due to COVID-19 situations, whatever drugs we uses for asthma, the same drug we can make use for COVID-19 patients. Okay. Now in the market, so the availability of the particular medicines are reduces because the demand increases. We can again take another example. Previously, in that is in our country, we hardly few people were using the mask. Okay, and very few people were using that kind of PPT kits. Okay, PPT means PPT kits we uses for the particular COVID patients. Previously, before the COVID-19 situation, hardly people were aware about the mask and PPT kit. Okay, but due to COVID-19 situations, what happened? The people's demanding more and more. People's demanding more and more PPT kits and masks. In initial days, we have less number of masks and PPT kits. So government imported these masks and PPT from foreign countries. Later on, the domestic production increases, and now the availability of the particular mask and PPT is in abundant quantity in a country. So we can say it is a kind of special influence. It is a kind of special influence. Special influence is what? Due to COVID situation, COVID-19, the particular demand of a product increases. The demand of product increases, so that is called as special influence. Now the second is seasonality. Second is point seasonality. Now seasonality means what here? We can take example, a school bag. A school bag or a pair of school shoes. We can talk about the shoes. A school bag we generally purchase in the month of monsoon or when the school gets started. Okay, or we can say in the month of June, or we can say in the month of July. In that month we purchase a particular school bag and pair of shoes. So annually we purchase a single school bag. Sometimes we require two bags, but mostly the student require a single bag. But a pair of shoes we can purchase at least one in a year, or we can purchase twice in a year. So we can say that particular demand of product is available only in season. We can again take another example of raincoat, or we can have umbrella. Okay, so we can have umbrella only in the month of monsoon, or we can say the rainy season. Only we get the use of that particular umbrella or raincoat only in rainy seasons. It means that the demand of particular umbrella and raincoat is only for few months, that is monsoon month, that is during rainy season. Similarly, we have a sweater or jackets, that is winter jackets. So the winter jackets we can make use only in winter. We can make use in winter, that is when we have cold. So that time we can use the jacket or the particular we can say sweaters. Okay, so that the demand of the particular products is only available in few seasons. So that is called as seasonality. Now the third point is hygienic market. Hygienic markets means, suppose we need to purchase some foods, and that foods we are getting available at particular market. So some at particular markets will get that quantity, that kind of foods. Okay, rather we'll focus on next point, that is supermarkets. Now when we go to the supermarket, there we get all the seasonal foods, all the seasonal materials available. So here we get all kind of particular stocks. Now once the stock need to be minimized, that time we can have different sales, like here I have mentioned, that is different marketing strategy here. That is, we can offer sale of 20%, sale of 40%, 50%, etc. Okay, or we may have another strategy like buy one get one free. So in different malls and stalls, so stall will be different. But when we talk about the supermarket, there will find the sale of 20% on the foods, sale of 40% on the clothes, sale of 50% on the grocery, and we can also have buy one get one on cosmetic commodities. So such kind of different marketing strategies are used in supermarkets. So when we offer such kind of sale, so it influences the demand. Now we can take the example, when we go to the mall and we want to purchase a perfume. Earlier the cost of the particular perfume is rupees 250. Now in the sale we get buy one get one, means we need to pay rupees 250 for a single perfume bottle, and we'll get plus one bottle free. Now in this condition, what happens? The people spend, so it increases the tendency of people to purchase the foods which have more offers, like sale of 20%, 40%, or buy one get one, buy one get two. So what happens? The demand of the particular product increases. Because at lesser price we get maximum quantity. So it has a special relationship between the special influence and demand. Okay, now we will see the very important point, that is population and demand, a very important point here. Now increase in population increases the consumptions, and when the consumption increases, the demand is increasing. See, I plot here, I write here P. P means population. Population increases, consumption increases. Consumption increases, ultimately demand will increase. So we can say PCD. P means population. Population increases, the consumption will increase. Consumption will increase, ultimately demand will increase. Now we'll see the India's food demand with respect to population. So here we'll see the growth of population in India. Since 1901 to onward. Rather, we can see from 1951 to 2001. Okay, we can focus only on this census. In 1950-51, or we can say the first census after independence, the population was 361 million, or we can say that is 36 crore. We can say the population was 36 crore. In 1961, the population was 439 million, or we can say 43.9 crore. Similarly, 1971, 54 crore. 1981, the population was 68. In 1991, the population increased to 84 crore, and in 2001, it crossed 100 crore mark. 100 crore, 100 and 100 plus, 100 plus crore population was there. In 2011, the population crossed 121. Right now, it is 132, 133. In today's context, it is more than 133 crores. Okay. Now, we will see the food, that is availability of food, that is food production, country's food production, and net availability of food grains per person. We will focus on this country's food production. In that is all this food production are in million tons. Okay, the food production is in million tons. In 1950-51, the food production was 50.82 million tons. That time population was 36 crore. Okay, so here we can say the population was 36 crore. Now in 1961, the food production rose or increased up to 82 million tons, and that time the population was 43 crore. That time population of India was 43 crore. Similarly, in 1971, the food production in country was at 108.42 million tons, 108 million tons, and the population rose to 54 crore. Okay. Similarly, up to 2011, here the population of a country was 102 crore. 102 crore that time in 2011, and that time the production of food grain was 211 million tons. Okay, so we'll see here since 1951 to 2001 until this date, the production of particular food continuously increases. Now, why this happened? Because the population is continuously increasing. The population is continuously increasing. Population was say 36 crore. Now it is increased to 102, and right now it is again increased to 132 crore. Okay, so the population is continuously increasing. At the same time, the production of food grain are continuously increasing. So the production of food grain was at 50.82 million tons in 1951, and when we compare with 2001, it increased up to 211, that is 211 million tons. So here we understand that so there is relationship between increase in population and increase in demand. Increase in population and increase in demand. So it is very important point. It is very important point we need to understand. Okay. Now we can take a short review of this point, that is population and demand. The population and demand, when we draw a line, then we can find these two lines. Say this is population line and this is a demand line. Then we will find these two lines are almost parallel and run. These two lines run parallel, and these lines too shows that increase in population, increase in demand. Increase in population, increase in demand. See, the population increases, the demand of the particular foods increases. So we need to provide more and more foods to the people. So population increases, the demand will automatically increase. Okay. Now we'll see the next point, that is demand curve, a very important point, that is demand curve. Here we'll see what is meant by demand curve. Now before going to see the demand curve, we'll have a short review. Now here we see the different factors which affect the demand. So these factors are, that is income, then price, taste, then special influence and population. When we talk about the demand curve, that time these are the other factors. We consider these factors are constant. These are the other factors, and we consider these factors are constant. Means we consider the constant for the calculation of demand curve. Okay. In the next lecture, we'll see. In the next lecture, we'll see exactly what is meant by demand curve. Thank you.